Hi, everybody. I'm Bryan Mudd, a fan of South Plains politics. Here's your talking points for this week. Who doesn't love a good chunk of mozzarella? Lubbock's new favorite cheese is an economic gold mine, especially if you like milking cows and good jobs. And from the things that we've never said department, Lubbock City and county leaders working together to hand out free money. Repent, I'll tell you.
From the studios of KAMC Television in Lubbock, your local election headquarters. This is Talking Points with Bryan Mudd.
Thanks for being with us, everybody. Also this week, Inside Baseball. You know, a lot of stuff happening in Austin right now. Maybe great for all of us political nerds, but for folks wondering how it affects you, it's probably just more of the sausage being made than you really care about. So as we've done for the past 6 years now on this show, we'll try to boil it down some. Leading off, Lubbock State Senator Charles Perrelli officially announced that he will run for another term. He's represented District 28 since 2015, and at this point, no one's filed to challenge him in the primary. The question going into the announcement was, what would his district look like for the next term? Remember, they're redrawing the political districts again right now. So under the proposed Senate map that we've seen so far, Mr. Perry drops some of his old southeastern counties, but adds all of Taylor County, which is Abilene, and 4 additional counties in the Panhandle. For Congress, Lubbock Representative Jody Arrington would essentially add all of Andrews, Martin, Dawson, and Mitchell counties, all of Floyd, and part of Callahan counties. State Representative Dustin Burrows, District 83, generally kicks to the east, adding Floyd, Garza, Dickens, and Kent counties to him. And maybe the most interesting move, Representative John Fruloh's House District 84 expands to include the entire northwestern chunk of Lubbock County, including most of the central part of the city. Now, this may not end up mattering much for election purposes, but while Republicans were trying to firm up their own winning districts with these new maps, Mr. Fruloh's district is now less Republican. But the bottom line from all these proposed maps is that although folks in the state's biggest cities will yell about redistricting for a while, the political strength of our elected leaders probably won't change much, if any. So while the other folks yell, we'll talk about some of the other bills in the special session that might matter more to you. And KAMC's Maggie Glenn is here to make sure you know what else is going on.
While lawmakers are working on redrawing our state's maps, they were also able to pass several of the governor's other agenda items in the Senate this week.
Senators passed a bill that would require Texas student athletes to participate in sports based on their biological sex.
It is to provide fair, equitable, and safety amongst biological females to compete in their own sport and not have fear of a biological male competing in the same sport.
The bill died 3 times since the regular session in the spring, amid major pushback from the LGBTQ+ community.
We get parents who tell us that their kids are self-harming. We have parents who have left Texas already as a result of not trusting the state to keep their kids safe.
I'm sensitive to the fact that they live in a way that, unfortunately, people choose to treat differently than they should. We have laws on the books for that, but that's not the purpose of SB 3.
Senate Bill 1, a property tax relief measure, also passed that chamber, with all but one senator approving. It would divvy up $2 billion in the state's surplus revenue.
And giving some of those back to the taxpayers, and especially in the form of badly needed property tax relief.
The median home price in Texas, $300,000, will save about $200 next year if this bill makes it to the governor's desk. Abbott already vetoed SB 5 in a previous session, calling it too restrictive.
This bill establishes a standard of care for dogs tethered outdoors.
Its Democratic author loosened some sections and also removed redundancy with animal cruelty laws already on the books.
All of these bills now await committee assignment in the House. They would then need approval in a committee and then approval on the House floor before heading to the governor's desk. Reporting from the Capitol, Maggie Glenn, back to you.
And that, of course, is Lubbock Mayor Dan Pope. Good to see you again, my friend. All right, do you and other city leaders have any role to play in the redrawing of not just state, but the local political district boundaries at all?
We do have a redistricting responsibility, just like the school district does and the county does. Ours is for our districts. Certainly the mayor runs for their entire city, but the other 6 districts are to be even as defined by the law. There's certainly a little bit of tolerance in there. We've hired the same consultants to help us that the school district and the county have, so we feel like that puts us maybe in a better position to do this in the right way. In fact, at our meeting on the 12th, we will, for the first time publicly, start talking about redistricting. So we'll work on that on the 12th. We'll work on it again in November. Publicly, we'll have a listening session for citizens in November. I think we'll have a special meeting just dedicated to redistricting. Our hope is before Christmas that we will have redrawn these districts and have them ready for filing period early next year.
You know, one of the things that came out of the regular legislative session this time around was the establishment of that I-27 advisory committee. A lot of mayors for the cities along the route are part of that. Have you started any of that work? And kind of what's the goal here for the next month, a year, however long this goes?
It's good to be able to talk about it. Last week, the mayors of Laredo, Big Spring, San Angelo, Midland, Lubbock, Amarillo, and I'm leaving one out, 7 of us got together and took the first step as required by the state law. We nominated 3 economic development professionals along the route. So we also nominated a member from ag, an ag expert, a energy expert, and an international trade expert. So 7 mayors, those 6 sort of private citizens, if you will come together next month with our county judges and formalize the entire group. We'll elect a chair and a co-chair for that effort and begin our work. We're required by that law to have that work done by Halloween, by the end of the month. And so we're on line with that. Maybe most importantly, good things continue to happen as it pertains to I-27. The work going on in Washington as we speak, as we reauthorize the transportation bill, we're halfway to the I-27 designation. We've gotten it through the House. We've got a bipartisan group of senators led by Texas Senator John Cornyn, at least from our perspective, is leading the way. We've got support in New Mexico with that. We had similar support in the House from Representative Arrington and from Congressman Cuellar down in Laredo, among others. We've got to stay the course on this, Brian. Sometimes we measure progress in this in feet instead of in miles, but there will be big strides that will be made someday when you and I are driving grandkids to soccer games. Right. We'll think back and be glad that people came together to advocate for the second north-south interstate in Texas. The 9th largest economy in the world has one north-south interstate. Right. This is for the future of our state, and most importantly for goods and services produced in West Texas that need to go to the rest of our country, to the rest of our state, and frankly all over the world. And
you see what kind of political influence people have around the I-35 corridor. There's a chance to improve our voice, not just in Austin, but in Washington as well, I suppose, in all this.
Yeah, we do. That's a great point. The governor came along this year. He was never against it, but he publicly is supportive of what we're trying to do. We're getting quite a bit of support in Austin. It's important to note that we can bring, Amarillo and Lubbock and Midland and Big Spring and San Angelo and Del Rio and Laredo together, okay? And we don't all look at the world the same way, but we're together on this. And I think as a team representing West Texas, South Texas, we're going to win.
I say all this, and we're talking about all these future things under the assumption that you're going to continue to be a part of this. Have you decided officially whether or not you're going to run again as mayor of Lubbock?
I have not. I have that decision to make. Denise and I are in serious thought and in prayer about that. 6 years is a long time, Brian. It'll be 6 years in May. I do believe in the citizen legislator model that, we come from the private life, we enter the public sector, and at some time we go back to private life. And I promise that I will do that at some point. I get up every day enthused, as excited today as I was in early May of 2016. I've never had a better job, but as soon as we make that decision, we'll let everybody know.
The police and fire raises and trying to get everything up to par. There's been some folks, though, that have said, that's great. We're still, though, not where we need to be as far as a commitment to paying police, especially the entry-level officers, and trying to keep those folks here. Is there a long-term, maybe, plan where you have goals saying in the next 2 or 3 budget cycles, I'd like to get to this point? Has that been thought of or talked about?
I think it's not a game that's finished this year. You keep working on it. I'm not a fan of something that says we're going to be in the top certain percent in the state. You don't really control that. I do think that in our case, we want to lead West Texas, and we made a big step this year. Now, it's not unique to Lubbock that we're having a difficult time recruiting police officers. The other cities around us are going to be making adjustments also. It'll be something in front of our council again next year. I think that we remain committed to public safety. This will help. I got an email from the Police Association last week talking about some improved numbers that our recruiters are seeing already.
Nice.
We're going to keep working on this. It remains job one, and Lubbock is a great place to serve in uniform. We respect police. We want police in our community. There's no nonsense about defunding police. And my guess is that, and it's no guess, my commitment is that we will remain committed to funding our first responders, police. We'll start next year adding fire positions for the first time in a number of years because we're going to build a new fire station. So over the next several budgets, we'll be adding 15 or so positions for Lubbock Fire and Rescue. That's something that you only do when you build a new station, and it's a big commitment. That we're building a double engine station out in South Lubbock, and so it's very important to our voters. It's important to our homeowners. It remains job one for the City Council.
All right, and we'll continue our conversation with the mayor now in just a moment. We'll talk about some of the big council news of the week involving that downtown city park project and some of the questions raised during the debate over this, including who will be maintaining the park. His answers next on Talking Points.